We're doing something a little different tonight and here in the days to come. We are taking a closer look at the state of our country, the threats to our political system, and possible solutions for reversing the divisiveness that is tearing America apart. Maybe you look around our country right now and you don't like what you see. Maybe it seems so bad at times that you're even tempted to look away. No one would blame you. But there are efforts underway right now to undermine American democracy, and we can't just bury our heads in the sand. You know what a failed coup is? Practice. And the masterminds behind the effort to overturn the 2020 presidential election got their reps in, and they are chipping away at the institutions that held to ensure former President Trump would take his rightful place as an ex-president, and President Biden would enter the White House and get his chance to deliver on promises to the voters who elected him, what every president is entitled to, what voters are entitled to. This series isn't alarmist. It is a frank examination of an illness in our country that we can't afford to ignore. What will 2022 bring? And 2024? What if Trump runs again or other Republicans run using his playbook? Will our institutions hold? And will social media algorithms undermine them, continuing to amplify conspiracy theories, peddling them to the masses eager to consume them? According to a recent poll, 73% of Republicans still believe the election was stolen from Trump, despite Trump administration officials making clear there was no widespread voter fraud that would have affected the outcome of the election, despite court after court dismissing baseless lawsuits that argued otherwise. The big lie is a cancer, so how do you cut it out without killing the patient? Is it even possible? As it metastasizes in one Republican-led state legislature after another. 34 new laws in at least 19 states, according to the Brennan Center, that restrict voting access that could disproportionately affect voters of color. In particular, legislatures in competitive states are making it harder to cast a ballot, and key Republicans are gaslighting America.
States are not engaging in trying to suppress voters whatsoever.
Saying it doesn't make it true. As much as Republican leaders who subscribe to or enable the big lie want for it to be. And that club is likely to get bigger. According to a Washington Post tally, at least 163 big lie Republicans are running for state or national office, positions that in many cases would give them authority or influence over the administration of elections. The list includes 69 candidates for governor in 30 states, as well as 55 candidates for the U.S. Senate, 13 candidates for state attorney general, and 18 candidates for secretary of state. The Republican officials who aren't selling or enabling the big lie are on an island, and a lightly populated one at that. The 10 House Republicans who voted to impeach Trump after the attack on the Capitol by his supporters are facing primary challenges or getting out of Congress entirely. Meanwhile, state legislatures dominated by Republicans are drawing congressional maps that look like amoebas, gerrymandering their states into congressional seats that are easy for their party to hold on to. Republicans control the redistricting process in states that oversee 187 House seats. Democrats control the process in states that oversee just 75 seats. Ohio's state Supreme Court struck down the congressional map proposed by Republicans just this past Friday, saying the way it was drawn was like a dealer stacking the deck. And then there's Trump himself. It is possible that his influence over his party is flagging, but it is far from dead. He is still the leader of his party. He could run again in 2024, and members of his party are loath to criticize him even when he's leaning into conspiracy theories about the FBI orchestrating the January 6th attacks and bragging about his audience size that day.
Everybody that I knew was saying, I'm going on January 6th, everybody. And they never talk, by the way, they never talk about that crowd. They talk about the people that walked down to the Capitol. They don't talk about the size of that crowd. I believe it was the largest crowd I've ever spoken before.
It wasn't. And yet that kind of lie seems almost quaint as Steve Bannon feeds his listeners their daily ration of coup porn. This is what he said over the weekend.
The decertification process is really kicking up next week in Arizona in the Assembly. They get to the bottom of November 3rd and decertify Biden electors in Arizona, in Wisconsin, in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, in the great state of Georgia,